right, so tackling 3 and 4, the critical points of G, and identify each as a relative maximum, relative minimum, or neither, and explain your reasoning. All right, so critical points are, we're looking at where does G prime equal 0 or does not exist. Well, the graph exists everywhere. So we're looking for where does G prime equal 0. So G prime, we're going to do our bar chart. And now because there's endpoints here, we're going to cap that so I don't write infinity on my answer. And G prime equals 0 at -2, 2, and this point right here. So it's going down 4 over 2. So it goes down 2 over 1. So down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. That's at 4.5. So we've got -2, +2, and 4.5. All right. So now we're going to do the signs. So it's negative. Then it's above the x-axis, so it's positive. Then it's above the x-axis, so it's positive. And then it goes below the x-axis after 4.5, so it's negative. All right, so my critical points are x equals -2. X equals -2 is going to be a relative minimum because it goes from G prime, goes from negative to positive. So relative minimum. So x equals -2 is a relative minimum. X equals 2, it goes from positive to positive. It being G prime goes from positive to positive. So neither. So x equals +2 is neither. And then 4.5 goes from G prime, goes from positive to negative. So that's a relative maximum because it goes up, 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 hits 4.5 and goes down, down, down. So x equals 4.5 is a relative maximum. All right, so those are my critical points and identified each as a relative maximum, minimum, or neither. All right, so now here is the deal where I saw a lot of people having a little bit of an issue on the mock exam is where it asks for the absolute max or the absolute min. When you see absolute, we check two things. Those two things are CPs and EPs. All right, so specifically we need the Y value at the CPs and the EPs. All right, so we got our EPs, which are -7 and +5. And then I've got my CPs. Now the absolute min, really, of my CPs, I don't need to check all three of them. Since I'm looking for the absolute min, all I need to check is -2 to see if that relative min is actually an absolute min. All right, so this 2 is going to be neither. 4.5 is the relative max, so it wouldn't be the absolute minimum. All right, so now plugging in, we need G of -7, G of -2, and G of 5. So we already found G of -2 way up above in A, and that was 5 minus pi. Okay. All right, so pi is 3.14, so it's like 1.86-ish. All right, and then we've got G of -7, so that's going to be 5 plus, then we do the integral from 0 to -7 of G prime of x dx. All right, so we're going to have to do that. And then for G of 5, we're going to have to do 5 plus the integral from 0 to 5 of G prime of x dx. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to find those endpoints and the y values associated with it. So we've got from 0 to -7, this becomes negative pi, so it's going to be 5 minus pi plus, and this is going to become positive here because it's below the x-axis, but we're shading backwards, so it's going to become positive. So this is a base of 5 and a height of 1. So 1/2, 5 times 1, always running out of room. So negative 7 is going to be 5 minus pi plus 5 over 2. So that's going to be bigger than this one because 5, and then we're adding to it 5 over 2. So that's going to be like 7.5 minus pi, so that's going to be bigger than 1.86. All right, the next one is 5. So if I start at 5 and I shade, if I start at 0 and I shade front to 5, it's going to be all this above it and then this little bit that we're taking away. So technically, I can kind of think my way through it that this is going to be 5 plus, this is pi, plus, and then we've got this part, which was 3 over 2, plus, and then we've got a height of 3 and a base of 1.5, so 3 over 2. So 1/2 base times height. So we've got 1/2, 3 over 2 times 3. And then plus a negative, and then this is 1/2 and this is 1. So 1/2 base is 1/2 times height, which is 1. All right, so we've got 5 plus pi plus 3 over 2 plus 9 over 4 minus 1/4. That is definitely not going to be the absolute minimum. My absolute min is going to be 5 minus pi. Okay? Final answer. All right.